Number one, we actually, when we call your client, we let them know that we are calling on behalf of you, we are your partner, and we're there to help them if anything breaks, as far as a mechanical failure. Well, how else is it going to benefit you? If your client says, "I love this warranty, actually, I want to make it part of my closing," then we place the order on your behalf and we email you the invoice so you can make it part of the close because we do not charge until close. And of course, it can be canceled anytime too. Now, when you receive the invoice, we also put your client's name in our concierge program. Our concierge is once a season, 4 times a year, reach out to your client on your behalf with 2 questions. Say, hey, this is Ardavan calling from America's Preferred, calling you on behalf of Jennifer. Just wanted to make me to file a claim on anything. They say yes, you file a claim for them, and we send you the email to let you know what has been done in that property. If they say no, we don't need to file a claim, the second question we ask him is, do you have any real estate needs that you'd like us to convey to your agent? Jennifer. And if they say yes, you receive an email from us saying that, hey, please reach out to this property address. We have yes, it is. So we actually do your follow-up calls on your behalf. We take care of the problems and we hand you the leads. Any questions so far? All right. So now when you schedule a consultation, we automatically cover 100% or 5,000 of your errors and omission. That means if your client wants to sue you for any reason, we cover your 5,000 or 100% of your errors and omission deductible. Any questions so far?
Yeah. Love it.
That's huge, guys. Like that's a really big deal. I mean, So I will be here for a bit. Please, if you have any questions, I don't want to take too much time, but if you have any questions, please come ask me. You'll see this red brochures on my card. You can text me. I'll be happy to text you text you back with the link. Now, one last thing, two last things. First, last thing, my cell phone number is on a card for you. So if you need anything, you can always call me or text me. The 800 number, if is usually for the clients because all the phone calls between the client and us is recorded because we cover 100% of errors and omission. So regardless of whose fault it is or anything like that, we cover your deductible. So use my cell phone number if you have questions, either schedule a call for it or just have me call the 800 number. Last thing. If you ever hear anything left or right of normal, shoot me a text with a property address. I can always help. I can, get things that are not even on board, short approved, and I've done it before. So if you're in a jam, shoot me a text. I can always help do a part here. Thank you.
Thank you for lunch.
I was cooking all that.
So we're doing some things on the back end, and there'll be more announcements around this, but to make it easier for you to schedule this, and you get $50 per transaction. So this is a great thing to add to our buyer seller consultation, right? It is another value add. It's optionality. If there's one thing true about this industry right now, consumers want transparency and they want optionality, right? Having partners like this in our toolbox allows for us to offer optionality. Does this work? What's your biggest concern? Oh, you're afraid of something breaking? Well, for X, Y, and Z, we may be able to solve that problem and ease your stress because everything about sales is what? Removing stress and removing friction, right? So these partners, things like this, you're going to see a lot more of this stuff. You've seen this stuff that we're doing with Winnie and branding for the agents. You're going to hear something about Notable, which is another partner that we're working with. That's going to add a consumer experience element, right? Got great partners in the loan space. So leverage those partners. Because even if we're an individual agent, we are not actually in business by ourselves. We have partners. We don't do every element of the transaction. Always things to think about. So keep an eye out for more information about this. Fill the bucket. All right. I was thinking about this the other day. We've been doing this for 6-7 years, and we've always started the same way.
Same slide.
With the same slide.
Yeah.
I love consistency.
It's very
And it's always the exact same response. All these faces looking back at you and they just go like this. It's awesome. So tell me something good. We're a quarter of the way through the year. We all had big goals, right? Some of us are on track for them. But what's something good that's happening, or who's somebody's bucket you want to fill?
I'm gonna fill Joseph's. I called him about a deal that I'm doing in Beaufort, which is obviously not our area, and he helped me go through the contract and then, connect me with Francis Butler College and like immediately got the answers I needed. So just quick, timely, and efficient.
It's awesome. It's good, man. Way to go, Joseph. Tom, I called Joseph yesterday at 10 and he didn't call me back. So ridiculous. Like, it's pretty sad. That's fine. Who is actually on a date with wife, by the way? He's on a date. He's on a date. Yeah, he was on a date. I will defend him on that.
Gee, we were not still out at 10. We're old.
No, I don't 10 a.m. Give me another. Give me two more. AJ.
To segue off of that, I'd like to personally thank Joseph, you, and you, and Hall. I had a conversation with a former KW agent that was trying to recruit me to their new brokerage. And they were giving me the whole spiel. We got this, we got that, and that. And he was like, why don't you leave? Why have you been there? And I said, because of people like yourselves. I just want to say our upper level things you guys do make our job a lot easier, and it's easy to communicate with you guys. And I think the information and the support is unparalleled. And that's what I told them. I said that's why I don't, because of you guys. So
That's awesome. It feels good. Let's get man. Who else? I said Jeff. Give me one more. No.
Well,
Go ahead, Nancy.
I've had a couple of listings for a long time. And one's under agreement, and then I got an offer at 10 o'clock last night for another one. It was lying in bed looking at midnight and like 10 o'clock. Anyway, so that makes me feel really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Give it a hand. All right.
You're just not gonna take Joseph's?
Oh, Joseph, go ahead. Nice.
I'm gonna still learn the ALC. The ALC is so purposeful this year on their business. And the one-on-one conversations that we're having, and like them adjusting their business, like embracing the reality habit of like what's going on, making those adjustments and doing the hard things. Like it's been a lot of fun. Specifically, I want to show about Tony, because Tony is actually putting people into her database. And
Yeah, she is.
Stop. No, that's just an example of like steps that people are taking to better the system. It's the starting earlier for me. ALC, they're doing a great job. It's a lot.
Did I say one thing?
Go
I
ahead.
got a call from Polly asking me if I did anything, which I thought was great. So I didn't, but that was really nice. So I'll be right here.
No.
It's awesome.
So happy about that.
Yes.
All right. Anybody just joined in the last 30, 60 days? Hey, how you doing? What's your name? Anthony? I gotta be honest. Anthony, when I walked in here, you look like a partner, like back in the a guy named Greg Gravenstein. You look exactly like him. He was my senior partner when I was at Morgan Stanley. What was it?
Good looking guy.
He was a very good looking guy. Really good looking guy. You got it. Man, I've been looking at it like it's like a flashback. Is that Greg? I'm not sure now, sorry.
Great.
Bree, welcome to the family.
Thank
Let's give man. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm new here. I'm on Zoom.
Oh, shit.
Back.
Yes, Tiffany's gonna go.
Sorry, I need to interrupt because I have a family emergency I have to run to, but I have one slide I want to talk to you guys that's of utmost importance. If you haven't heard, DocuSign is going away. Yay! Okay, so if you were with us during the dot loop to DocuSign transition, we get to do it again. We are transitioning from DocuSign to Lone Wolf Transact. Now, here's a few things that are true. It goes live in the next week or so. So next week you should start seeing emails about activating your free Lone Wolf Transact. Positive side on Lone Wolf Transact. I've heard it's incredible when you're using it via your mobile device.
That's cool.
Yeah, we excited for that? Okay, because everybody is complaining that DocuSign is
It's
terrible at your mobile device. So, and that's I would say Maggie will speak to that at a high level and a lot of other people. So DocuSign though is going away, like you will lose anything that's in your DocuSign on July 14th. So there are programs that are going to be set up like API Nation that can take anything that's in your DocuSign, link it into your Google Drive. Remember, your KW Google Drive has unlimited size. So if you're not paying for a Google Drive for all that space, your KW email gives you unlimited size access for you to transfer all those documents. So you have a backup in that way. July 14th. So remember July 14th, but let's just take it to July 1st because like, y'all, real estate agents, we good. July 1st is going to be our deadline of we need to use Lone Wolf Transact. If you have DocuSign forms that are linked into your command opportunities, they're going to be fine. If you have DocuSign forms that are not linked in, so say you have a bunch of rooms open because you're going to get to compliance the day of closing, you will lose all of those and you'll have to have your clients re-sign everything. So great practice. You guys have 3 months, 3 months to get your documents that you need out of DocuSign manually if you want, or you do have the option to pay for DocuSign yourself, work with DocuSign to start paying that monthly. I don't recommend that. So Lone Wolf Transact is going to be going live. I just started our Market Center account. Everything is going to link in the exact same like DocuSign does, where in the checklist, it'll be linked in. You can upload it, all that stuff. We will have tons of trainings coming on as soon as we have access to everything. You can start using it right away and transition out DocuSign as soon or as late as you want. But July 1st is the date you should probably be done with it. And so just wanted to let you guys know about that. You might be seeing more communication come from KWRI. The deadline, DocuSign is going away. And there's going to be, from what they've told us, there's no like, if you magically forget on July 14th and then think you're going to go on July 15th and get that one document that you knew to get out, they're not going to be able to go back in and get it. So,
Okay, I use that, so I've always hated DocuSign, so I use it, but, so that's still fine, I still, my thing.
Lupo's going to be operating the Gex.
That's just sort of people are asking, so once they upload it into Command,
It's fine.
it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, so everybody who has DocuSign,
Correct.
that is so.
But you're not going to be able to access any of those forms via DocuSign. Yes.
And they have to.
So definitely get your, I would definitely recommend getting your opportunities in, even if you're working with a buyer and you don't have anything under contract or it isn't closed yet, compliance before closing. What a concept. But yeah, so Lone Wolf Transact is going to be our new form of e-signature that is provided to you. You are still able to pay for .loop. You are still able to pay for DocuSign if you want. The DocuSign will just be the manual download out of DocuSign and upload. And Lone Wolf Transact. And you can still use zip forms too, so.
It's gonna affect if you like already have an account with us,
With DocuSign,
with Lone Wolf.
with Lone Wolf, if you already have an account with them, if you're paying for it, I think it can transition to free or whatever version of it. So if you have an account with them and you're already using them, it should be, you'll be able to link that one into your command.
Okay.
So there will be some connectivity that we have to do between on the back end, just like we did if you were here in that wonderful time of transition. And that's why we have the amazing Holly that is going to be teaching those classes, getting us on the calendar. We'll be talking about them every single time we can. But I just wanted to let you guys know, July 14th, it's all going away. Any questions? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good hand. Lone Wolf Transact is a specific transaction management, like signature platform for real estate. So it's a huge upgrade from DocuSign or even .loop because those aren't specific for real estate. There are certain aspects of those programs that are just approved, right? So this is a great transition. It's actually an example of Stone Point Capital. And the fact that they have access to so many companies and so much data. Stone Point is the private equity firm that invested in Keller Williams International. This is an example of something they're bringing to the table to add efficiency, effectiveness, support to the agent level, and to the consumer. So it's great. That's great news. Top performers for March. Let's give them a hand. Dr. Dave Stevens. Snoop back there. Who else?
Sean Cleary was
Sean
here.
Cleary was in here. Yeah. What's next? Top teams. Let's get leading the way. There we go. Let's give them a hand. Top individuals. Josh leading the way this year so far. That's an awesome group. Anybody in the room? Another out selling real estate. Give my hand. Good start to the year. All right, Kelly, come on. Tell us something about work.
All right, so my goal here is to help all of you do something like make your job easier. And I don't know if anybody has struggled with the question of home affordability. Anybody heard homes are not affordable in Charleston, South Carolina? I'm passing, so we're on the same page. I heard that too. So I'm gonna give you a few snips and tips on how you can overcome that. And then you can come to me and we can talk about specifics. But Kristen, if you don't mind, we're gonna kind of move through this quick. So basically, they're saying that homes aren't affordable, but there are ways to make them affordable, I promise. So what we're gonna do next one. So the average income in our area, household income, is 95K to 115. And that is actually the average, and the median income for our area is 90,000. But this is what you need to buy an average home of 575 in Charleston, South Carolina, mega area. So that means the estimated monthly payment is between $3,300 and $3,800. And does anybody remember how a debt to income ratio works? All right, so traditional old school debt to income ratio, your housing expense should only be 28% of your gross monthly income. So you take mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, HOA divided by your gross monthly income, 28% or less. Everybody got that? So that's how we're coming up with all of this. So this is how, when they go on the news and say, it is not affordable to buy a home in Charleston, South Carolina, they are picking an average rate that is just put out there. Rates change. Everybody has a rate option, actually. But at a 6.25% rate with 5 to 10% down, including taxes and insurance, we're looking at $3,800 a month, and you need more than the median income to make that happen. So how do we make that work? So this is the example of where that comes from. Sorry, I don't do well with slides. Write things on a board. That's where the numbers come from. But what we're looking at is builders know their job is to sell their product. And so they sit in boardrooms. I've actually had 4 of these meetings this week where I've sat in rooms with builders and they're like, how do we make our homes more affordable? Because everybody's saying they're not, and it's scaring people out of our models. So this is what the builders are focused on, is they're selling payments, not the price. We are focused on rate buy downs right now, seller pay closing costs, and payment focused marketing. So how does this, so builders sell a lot of homes, right? And we learned from last team meeting that we want y'all to get more listings to sell more of those, right? So this is how it correlates to that. So thinking like a builder in that sales mentality, you've got your one spec, they've got to sell 20. So you can be better at this because you can dial in focus. You're not covering a huge range. So one strategy that we are doing is the 3-2-1 buy down. I don't like the strategy, but it works. It gets people in the door to focus on monthly payment. So what you can do is get a seller credit. Get a seller credit, get a seller credit, get a seller credit. Everybody hear me? What are we doing? Get a seller credit. It's better to reduce your purchase price or get a seller credit.
Get a seller credit.
All right, and this is why. Because when you get a seller credit, you have options. So one of those options is this 3-2-1 buy down. Let's say we get a $15,000 seller credit because we offered full price for our home. So without the credit, we're kind of we don't lose our options. Now, let's say your buyer is brand new, young, just out of college, knowing that they're going to get raises over the next 3 years if they do their job correctly. This is a great scenario for that. It's a 30-year fixed mortgage where, yes, year 3, you're at your traditional $3,500 payment, but you can start out at $2,800. A young engineer, a young tech guy, something like that, who is just starting out but knows that their income's going up, $2,800, $3,100, $3,500, that can help them get into this home and make it more affordable, where they can still go out, have fun, and all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
How about refinancing? I mean, is that an option at,
Absolutely, you can refinance. I say after 6 months because you refinance for 6 months, I have to pull back everything plus a little bit of a penalty. So after 6 months, let's say rates drop and it makes sense for this person to refinance, we can refinance before the seller credit's over. Because basically what we're doing is we're using a payment difference of $700 a month for 12 months. For something a month for the next 12 months, we're putting that into an escrow account and making that payment difference for them. So if there's money left over in that account when they refinance, that just goes to reduce their principal. That's it. Is it?
So the people have to qualify for the 3550.
Yes, but most of the time they just don't want to pay it. That's what I'm seeing. I'm sitting down having these consultations and people are qualifying for $4,000 a month. But then you say $4,000 a month, and they're like, I'm not buying a house.
freaked out?
I'm not buying a house. Well, double 25, they don't want to buy a house. So this is how we're getting them to ease into it. Also, you can use this strategy instead of doing the 3-2-1. We advertise this to get them in the door. That's what the builders are doing. But we talk about the permanent strategy. So I swapped a loan last night at 5.75 interest rate. They've got a little seller credit. But you know what? We got their payment where they want it and their cash to close. And we wouldn't have had that ability to do that if we didn't get the seller credit. Okay, because that's a big difference between 6.25 and 5.75, right? We can make a big difference. Right, this strategy number 2, which is what nobody talks about. Did you know that mortgage insurance is not evil? Mortgage insurance serves a purpose. So mortgage insurance came about because basically all the loans used to be 20% down. 20% down, 20% down. Nowadays, most people don't have 20% to put down. Hence, this is where mortgage insurance comes in. And this is how you can have a 3% down payment, 5%, 10%, all those kind of things. Did you know that if you get a seller credit, the seller could pay that up front for them? So instead of having $200 a month of mortgage insurance, paying $15,000 up front and pay off their mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. You just save them $200 a month. Because we got a seller credit, we got options. Most people don't know how this works, but let's say you're with the mortgage insurance and you're at $3,700 a month, and that includes $200 a month mortgage insurance. And then if we get this $15,000 seller credit paid up front, we're saving $200 a month, and they didn't have to come out of pocket anymore at closing. Does that make sense? Has anybody run through the strategy like 20 times? Okay, this was the first time all the builders heard about it too when I went over it with them. So know that if I sit down with one of your buyers, I'm going over all this. And I'm showing them the difference between, okay, what if we get $15,000 off the purchase price? That's going to save them $62 a month. We get them $15,000 in seller credit. It opens up opportunities to save anywhere between $150 to $400 a month, depending on the strategy we use. Okay, so how can you use this to help your listings? I think it's on the next one, maybe. Okay, so your buyers feel stuck due to functions in the news. This is how we get over it. We talk about payment. Sellers feel stuck because they're a 2.75 interest rate. They're never going to be able to afford their home. What they're forgetting is when they bought that home, they had 3% to put down. Now they've got 150 to put down towards their next home. They're not talking about it. So this is where you get to talk about it. You get to pull it in. So what we're seeing success with some of the builders and some of the other people that are working with list agents, list heavy agents, is when we bring a loan officer, preferably me, into the conversation. When you're talking about selling and you take the fear out of how much that home's going to cost them when they buy, because now they have more options than they did, they're going to be more willing to list the home correctly. Which Joseph and Vince did a great job at the last market update, and I'm sure they're going to do it again, about homes listed correct are selling faster than homes that are overpriced because people are assuming they need more money. Does that all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we can find solutions, help take the fear out of people, help move your listings better. even people who are like, I'm not ready, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait. Why? Now we're at the lowest interest rates we've been at a really long time. They're kind of bouncing around like this. But if interest rates went down to 5.5, you're gonna see prices jump and the homes are gonna, and we're gonna have more affordability issues. So
Can you, how much, so to do that, divide down for 3 years, what point, is it like 1 point of the mortgage amount of the house?
no, so the buy down is basically how much you save every month for those first 12 and the second 12 months. We add that together and add $500, and that's how much.
So credit, like the credit that they would need to sell a credit, how much would they need to?
It depends on the purchase price. So it would be,
Let's say 375.
so I mean, I'd have to see.
Well, that was 545.
So that was 700 times 12 plus 400 a month savings, probably need about 12,000 or so. But I can run those numbers for you. It takes 2 seconds to run that. So I think the next one is the last one. So if your buyers feel stuck, if your sellers are scared and they're not willing to list, let's get creative and take some of the sting out of what ifs of buying. And this is how you can move more of that. Keep your homes on the market less time, because the longer you have a home on the market, the more it's going to cost you. That's money out of your pocket, and I'm here to help protect that and put more money in. So I think that's it.
All right. Thank you. All right, what's coming up? We have steered a clients with Veronica Declaz from Charlotte. Joseph, do you want to add anything on this?
I don't know, it's a great, she's in South Park, she runs a great business there, and she's all focused on her sphere of influence, getting them to turn into clients, and she's also an amazing presenter, so the class will be good. But this is very like hands-on, like what she does to turn into business, so this, you can definitely sign up for it, we're lucky to come in.
She lives in South Park.
She's in South.
Let me move this.
You're in the mall.
All right, got it. We have the Q1 market recap. I know Kelly just plugged that as well, but April 23rd, Joseph Invents will be leading that. That will also be at DR Horton again. Please join us for it. It's super informative, and you can take this to use in your listing presentations and working with buyers as well.
What time?
10, I believe. 10?
10 to 1, I think.
Yeah, 10 to 1. Lunch is included. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
What time is the other one?
Veronica's is 1 to 4 with a happy hour to follow at Frothy Beer. So right across the street. So now, do you want to sign up? I'm kidding. All right. And then we have the AI Listing Lab, which is with Sydney Seymour. I know I've mentioned this before, but she's our regional tech trainer. She is a fantastic trainer as well. So this won't be your average tech class. So please sign up to attend this. It's going to be fantastic. And we want to pack out the room for Sydney and Charleston. Ronnie is going to be teaching the art of winning the listing. Today we had Sean Cleary's class for mastering the buyer consultation, and we're doing every other month listing buyer. And May 13th, Ronnie is going to be going through her mock listing presentation, how she prepares for it, depending on clients' personalities, going through the actual presentation and the follow-up with it as well. So anything you want to add to?
I mean, Ronnie's she's an unbelievable list, right? Our ecosystem. Learning all of these, what I'm loving about seeing this outside of the Q1 update with me, Joseph, that'll be whatever it is. But listening to say Sean previously, right? He did 100 buyers last year. Clearly, he's got something going on with the buyer consultation, right? He's creating efficiency in a area that there is no efficiency. Right? They say it's 80 hours for a buyer, like 32 for a seller, something along those lines. Right? Listening to Ronnie, you're going to pick up things that she's doing to take listings at a higher level, right? Than much of the market. So attend these classes, and everybody in here that I've talked to talks about wanting to be a referral-based and sphere-based agent. Somebody's doing 200, 200 plus in GCI just from their sphere. That would be a course where, hey, I'm gonna go and invest an hour, go and take their playbook. And then implement it in my business, change the trajectory of my business this year, right? So think about it from that perspective. What's my biggest challenge? How can I solve it? Find a training and
One more thing, Ronnie's business is up 78%. And almost exactly half of her business comes from stuff, right? So she's one of the most dialed in teams as it relates to benchmarks that work for her, right? I mean, I think she wants to get involved in that. But again, this is someone you would.
it's awesome.
All right, Red Day, I don't. No, okay. Red Day is on the 14th. We're going to Footprints in the Sand, which is off of Clements Ferry. It's a equine farm, right? That supports, it's for therapy, for veterans and also PTSD and recovery as well. So I think y'all are gonna be doing various things like building picnic tables, fencing.
Multiple things.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different needs. If you don't need, it's also some landscaping, so you don't have to be contractor talented. There's a lot of, you can do anything. It's a lot of good stuff.
Awesome.
It's one of the best days of the year from the standpoint of serving the community. One of the biggest differentiators of KW to other companies, let's call it, is our focus on our professional non-family business. And the way that we show that is through one day a year, completely shutting down all things that have to do with business across the United States, which is kind of cool. Right, 700 plus market centers and agent bases, 170,000 agents, literally shut down for the day and go and serve the community. It's a beautiful thing to witness and to watch, and it's quite the differentiator, and it's a great way to feel the culture. But the cause that we're serving this year is a pretty great, especially given the time, right? So definitely participate and come and hang out.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing that's really cool about a renewed coolness about this year's is that we're bringing everyone to the same locations. There are multiple things people can do, and then there's going to be fellowship afterwards, like a grill out of some sort. We're still working out the details, and it's off of Clements Ferry, so it's a good central location for, we took into consideration like traffic and things. So I think it's going to be such a cool experience. We're going to have some of the veterans come out. We're going to see them do what they do. You also get to play with animals. There are a lot of cool like peacocks and horses and donkeys and dogs. So it's just gonna be a really cool day of also fellowship of our offices, as well as giving back to people who need that support. So there's my little plug of why it's a great day to go.
Do you think they'll let Vince ride the donkey if we have a certain amount of people there?
Don't run.
200 plus people, all right, around, sure.
Accepted, 200 plus. All right, like go to measure that to something. Oh.
Well,
Yeah, I'll say sure. Yeah. AI one, yeah, yes.
all right, so notable, our projects to the ALC, actually, one of our very announcements, Brian Beatty brought this to the ALC. To talk about a partnership with this company called Notable, which is essentially a financing company. It gives optionality to our buyers or sellers, more specifically, that may want to do renovations, things of that nature, to increase the purchase price of their home, but don't have the cash available. So we're going to watch this quick video and then we'll talk about it a little bit.
Oh, wait, hold on.
We're going to use sound though.
Yeah, we need some.
We'll restart it there.
Nah.
Everyone wants to sell their home for top dollar, but getting a home move-in ready often costs thousands. Now there's a smarter way to sell a home, all without touching savings, credit cards, or investments.
Everyone here.
Home sellers can unlock fast, flexible funds to get their homes move-in ready and defer the cost until closing. So, how does it work? See what you qualify for in minutes, with no impact to your credit. You can use the funds on virtually any home selling expense and simply repay what's spent at closing, meaning directly out of the home sale. Homes that take advantage of this program sell 31% faster and for 9% more on average. That can mean an average 4 times return on your original investment to get move-in ready. Earn more, sell faster, stress less. See what you qualify for today.
So essentially, the reason that we're bringing things like this, again, it goes to the consumer experience and optionality, right? This also gives us a MOFR. What's a MOFR? Make offer for immediate response, right? It's a way to generate leads based off of a problem that we know that the market has. Hey, Mr. Seller, are you challenged to sell your home at the purchase price that you want to because you feel like you have to do renovations? Or even better, are you worried about selling your home because you don't know whether you're going to be able to get in under contract fast enough and find the right house and don't want to go out money on the backside? Well, this money, this up to $50,000 can be used for temporary housing on the backside as well, all paid out at the closing. So we're going to have more information about this and we'll put together some, I'm going to call it examples of MOFRs you could use. I have to write that one down. Examples of MOFRs you could use to leverage this particular value proposition within your marketing efforts and kind of have this as an arrow in your quiver, so to speak, when you're talking to consumers. Because how many of us have been at a closing table and maybe they had challenges with X, Y, and Z dollars to renovate or do certain repairs, things of that nature that would be necessary for them to sell their home? Probably a decent amount of us. This is an option to be able to solve that problem. Again, all of it is about trying to solve problems for our consumers and make them feel good and get them to what they want faster than they thought they could. So we'll put some more information, maybe we'll do some more videos and stuff on this, just to give you more idea as to what this platform actually can do and how to leverage it at the highest level. And then we'll have Brian talk about it as well.
Any questions about that? I'll do that. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I wanna wrap up, we wanna wrap up with, putting this into action. Like, one of our main goals in any time that you guys come here, I mean, we understand your time is valuable, right? And so we wanna make sure it's something you can leave with that's accurate. So we're gonna spend the next minutes talking about some things we can do. Who would like an additional $240,000 between now and the year? Okay, well, not all of you, that's interesting. Some of you were not in those days. It's good for the so what I love about everything we talked about today is kind of going back to our conversation the last meeting. We're continually at how we keep the consumer and the agent at the center of the transaction. And the way that we do that is providing the consumer with optionality. One of the things that I hope that you did not miss was the immense value in what Kelly talked about of what the optionality that brings to your consumer and your client. That's not a loan program she's selling. It is a solution for a problem. You're fixing a problem. And we need to put ourselves in front of the consumer to fix the problems. We are no different than a financial advisor who sits down and says, here are all of your options. Here's the upside of the option. Here's the risk that comes with the option. How risk adverse are you? How comfortable are you with it? And then where do you want to go from here? That's what Kelly's providing in that. And we can talk about this. And at the market update, she's also going to be supplying another option of how we can get our consumers in front of some who would love to have that conversation is intimidated by the numbers. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Well, would it be helpful to be able to put a consumer or a seller in front of someone who knows they're talking about? 100%. That's optionality that we want to provide. That's optionality that Kelly wants to provide. Notable. That's optionality. Like, if you're anything like me, like you heard like short-term loan and you're like, oof, that's kind of risky. It might be, but it may be an option that a seller needs to fix their house up to make it. They spend $10,000 on cleaning up the house and get an additional $50,000. Did you advise them correctly on that? 100%. 100%. So I say that to kind of debrief on everything we talked about and how we're going to take this information and use it moving forward. So how do you turn one action into $240,000? So everybody got a piece of paper. Everybody loves numbers. I had an aha last week. Yeah. We went to Rookie Real Estate Agent Workshop last week. Right? Great workshop. Super simple. How many weeks are left in the year? 38, exactly, 38. So when most of us did our goal setting, guess how many appointments we needed to go on roughly a week to hit our goals?
At least two.
At least two for some of you.
Less than one for some.
For most of us, it was less than one. Right? It was less than one appointment a week. Right? Even if you're a giant team, per agent, it's usually right around one a week. Now, when I say a listing appointment a week, what do you think you hear that? Be honest.
A listing appointment.
Okay, I mean, how does that make you feel?
Getting the listing.
Okay, how does it make you feel? Is it encouraging? Is it like, does it seem like a lot? Seem like not? I mean, it's one a week. How long are your listing appointments?
2 hours.
2 hours if you're a high eye. Right. It's like three minutes. It's not here, press hard. Right.
He's not the help or not. This is
Like they're not. It's not the time of the listing appointment. It's getting the listing. I get that, right? So 38 weeks in the year, left in the year, and you didn't work all of them. So let's say you went on a listing appointment a week for 34 weeks. Could you do that? Does that sound daunting? Okay, write that down. 34. Now, let's say you were average. None of you are average, but let's just say you go on an appointment. What's your conversion rate to turn that appointment into a listing? If you're average,
50%.
75%. Lane's 50. That's fine. No,
You said average. He
spoke.
I'm not talking about me.
It's right. It's right, man.
That's all I'm not supposed to say. God, say.
Okay, 75. What's 75% of 34?
You lost.
25.5, exactly. Can you go on half a listing appointment?
No.
No, so 26. Okay, so you got 26 listings that you took. What percentage on average of listings taken are selling? 75. That's an actual, by the way, in Charleston. Right, that's an actual. So 75% of 26 is what? 19.125, something along those lines, right? Okay, so let's go with 19. I'll let you round down this time. Everybody got 19. Does everyone agree if you want one listing appointment a week for the rest of the year, taking 4 weeks off because there's 38 weeks out of the year, so you've only went on 34, that you would sell 19 listings? Everybody, does that math for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, multiply 19 times 12,500. $237,500. I rounded up. This just looked better on my screen. $237,000 in PCI. Would that be a game changer for you? Raise your hand if that would be a game changer for you. Okay, it would be. Of course it would. That's a lot of money, right? So what do you have to do to get those appointments?
Work that's out.
You have to talk to people. You have to connect with people. A big aha I had yesterday in one of my consulting meetings, and I will not say who it is, but I had in one of the ALC consulting meetings yesterday, the story was told that this person got a call from a potential client. And when they asked that client how they got their name, they said, oh, so-and-so that owns such and such restaurant told me to call you. That's pretty cool. What was interesting about this is this agent and that restaurant owner don't know each other. Now they go to the restaurant a lot, and while they're there, when they sign their check, they look at their business card. Right? Great idea. Don't miss the point of the story here. What is interesting about that and the aha I had is it was a connection. And what we think about when we're making connections is we assume that every connection should end in a result. That's not always realistic, but any one connection can. And what's happened in that, if you've ever been in the lead generation class I've taught, if you look at a timeline of a year, right? Over a year, we smile up.
Gotta love it, yeah.
Oh yeah, talking about this. I hate this. For a year, how many times did that restaurant owner have an opportunity to talk to someone who's going to buy or sell real estate?
We did.
Okay, but like a real conversation though, where they actually said, "Oh, you're buying or selling. Here's who you should call."
Once a month.
I'd say that's a lot. Let's say it's 5.
Okay.
Okay, so 5 times over the year, that restaurant owner is gonna have one of those conversations. Our job to get that one appointment is simply to be in touch with someone enough times that when they have that conversation, it was within a close enough period of time that you connected that they remember you. Now, this agent wasn't doing that with the restaurant owner, but this agent happened to connect that one time close enough to that conversation where the restaurant owner said, go call her. That's a huge aha. That was a huge aha I had in that meeting yesterday because I was like, all that is an example of how we should do more of that. How we should do more of that. Because here's the deal. Mind share is not anything other than time. And mind share goes away like anything else. It's not like you build up mind share, then you stop. Right? You build up mind share by consistently doing it. So when you're having these connections, and this is what we talk about lead generation, we talk about connection. It's French about stuff. So giving me a complex.
Thanking me.
Right? We get into this mindset that every time we make a connection, what has to happen? So now a specific solid outcome, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. What has to happen is one of these four things. Get an appointment, get a referral, strengthen the relationship, which clearly means getting married based on AI. That's what. LM for me is amazing. Nobody's like, right? Or add to your database. Right? As long as one of those four things happens, look at it. The majority of the time, all you're doing is strengthening the relationship. You're not getting the referral because you sent a postcard in January.
Right.
That they remembered in December. That's not what's happening. What's happening is you did this enough times to play the odds. This postcard in January helped for this connection in December. What helped with the connection in December was the business card that was left with the check within this postal period of time for you. Does that make sense? So what do you do with this information? Anyone add?
Real quick, the average home seller spent 3 to 4 months considering. 3 to 4 months considering selling. When you think about this, like I wasn't connecting with my database with valuable information every month, in my opinion. It should be every week. You should send something every week. At least that's what the data suggests right now. Right? If I'm not doing that, I will miss opportunities because they're literally thinking about it for 3 to 4 months. But is there value if Mike is selling his home, is there more value that I can add to Mike if we get in conversation 4 months before he sells it as compared to the day before he sells it? Absolutely, because with 3 to 4 months, we have optionality. We have the ability to adapt, to bring partners into the equation, to potentially increase the purchase price, things of that nature. But one, I risk by not following up, I risk losing it. 2, I make my job and the field for them harder because we got into the conversation real late. They would already been considering it, and they probably have talked to other people too. So a way to think about why it's so important to follow up.
It's a really good segue, kind of like the next part of this discussion is everyone, like in all of our consulting meetings, and I was learning yesterday with some ALC ones, so this is why it's more fresh, is like, what's the problem with saying go connect with someone on a regular basis?
What's the problem saying?
What's the problem when you say just go connect with people?
Oh.
Like, where are you thinking? Like, and everybody thinks phone calls. Listen, phone calls are great, and they should be part of it. I see some just lost half of it. But phone calls need to happen. But when you hear that, why do you hesitate?
Where do you start?
Where does it say that again?
Like, where do you start?
Yeah, 100%. Where do you start? What do I say? I mean, some of your top producers in your office looked me dead in the eyes yesterday and said, "I'm not calling people and having small talk. It makes me miserable." Is that resonating with anyone else in the room? No, people want to do it. By the way, your database doesn't want you to do that. No offense. We just need something to say. Kelly just gave us 3 things to talk about. An overall problem and 2 strategies. So what if we started putting a theme out each month that we're talking about? Right? What if our newsletter that you're all sending had a theme that when you follow up with a phone call and said, hey, wanted to make sure you got this talking about the challenges sellers are seeing in this market. And then the next month is wanted to see if you got my newsletter talks about one of the ways they could fix that. If you had that to talk about, would you make the connection? Yes. Quiet. Quiet. Why'd you get quiet? What are your thoughts? Give me some ahas on this.
I don't like real estate that much to talk about it all the time.
There's that. You don't like the process or you don't?
Like, for me, building a relationship, I'd rather have like a relationship where I'm talking about like who they are, what they have going on in their life.
Got it. Okay.
So
No, that's again. This is not a one size fits all. This and this is a one size fits all. The concept has to happen. Now, Sarah's doesn't fall in that category of having problems talking to people if she doesn't know what to say. Sarah's going to call and figure out what she's going to say about halfway through the conversation. You're not that way. I need to know what it is. That's fine. Keep doing that. Right? This is to solve that, or to close that gap for those of you that are having a hard time making the call. If you're having a hard time making the call, you don't know what to say. Lynn and I've had this discussion since we've been selling real estate together for 15 years. Because Lynn is not a small talk person. That will come as a surprise to many of you. But if you have a topic, you're going to call them, right?
Yes.
I was trying to suggest accountability. Yes.
Like Sarah. So to me, it's like really a relationship. I mean, I had one under contract nested at open house a year ago.
Right.
And I just went for listing agreement and met them at an open house a year ago.
Right.
And I don't have to call them. I mean, and I'm never gonna, like, I'm okay never being like a huge top. I mean, I need to do what I top produce for myself.
Right.
You know, so, but I find the relationship and actually caring about the person. And like, if they say their dog is sick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really building that relationship, and then they trust you, and then they love you, and then they recommend you to everybody. So I'm never gonna be a turn and burn person. I'm never gonna be, 100 things a year. And I'm okay with that, but that works for me. But I just think if you care about the person.
Yeah.
And they're not just, as I said, we're all different. They're not just, okay, I send everybody my newsletter every month, and I send everybody this thing every month, but actually that person is important to me.
Huh.
That's what works for me.
Well, and I appreciate that. And listen, like, I'm going to put fence on this. Everything works, nothing doesn't.
Right.
Right. But I want to also, let's not suppose that just because you don't like small talk, you don't care about it.
No, I'm not.
Right.
saying
It's
that.
like, I'm not saying that far, right? I'm just saying that you have to have a system in place that's going to work. Right, for you.
It comes down to this, so like, we're talking about sales and we're talking about influence, essentially. And it works in a simple equation, and everybody is right now, by the way. Relationship is extremely important, naturally. Plus credibility. What's credibility mean?
Trust.
But can you help? Right? What does relationship mean? They like you. They like you. You care. They know you care.
It's
Right.
two-way.
Yeah, it's two-way. They know you care. And everybody in this room, by the way, approaches how they do this differently. That's why some people work with me, some people work with Sarah, right? And will never work with me. And some people will never work with Sarah. That's very under the bus. They probably all will, by the way. Right? And here's why. Because we approach this differently. And credibility is different, right? And then you've got one last thing. Value gap, right? What is a value gap?
Solution.
It's the problem they have in getting to what they want.
Yeah, and you
Right.
provide a solution
Right.
in that gap.
That's 100%. They can't renovate their home. Well, I have a solution, notable, right? Or they're having trouble with affordability. I have a solution. I'm Kelly, right? And these particular options. I don't get the opportunity to talk about these two things without this thing right here. Yeah. And everybody in this room is going to probably develop that different, but based off of four simple things, the Ford conversation. family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. That's pretty much what every conversation revolves around. Some of us call it small talk when we're just staying real high level. And I believe small talk is simply a byproduct of asking bad questions. Right. I know that's just a crazy thing to say, but if you ask better questions, you're going to get better answers, and it's probably not going to be small talk, it'll probably be pretty big talk, quite captivating. So we can learn how to ask better questions and I don't know, wait till it's about to be like, shut up.
It's like for him to make fun of me for being the question asker.
Right? More. She's a good example. It's awesome. Now, all of this stuff. Yeah. So to have this credibility and value gap, first off, nobody cares about you until they do. Right? They don't care about you until you have this and you've understood this. Then this comes into the equation. And lastly, this is all over denominator of client. The amount of time is up to them for them to execute or sell. However, how do you determine, how do you impact time? Do this better. Ask better questions specifically about what they want and how they envision getting it. What are your real estate related goals, AJ? Right? Whatever the question is, how fast you go here and how deep allows you to understand this quickly. And then you have the ability and you've earned the opportunity to show them that you can help. And potentially this gets decreased. So when we talk about taking listings and going on one appointment a month, I just had an appointment at 11 o'clock with somebody and she was talking about how important it was to get better systems into their business, right? And the whole conversation came down to right now, how can I be, it came down to literally add four people to our database on a weekly basis. It's 4 people, right? So right now, do you think you meet more than 4 people? I said, yeah. I said, okay, how many do you think? It was like, came up with a number of 15. The conversation then went to, well, then what has to be true in order for you to add 4 out of that 15? Well, it's just being more intentional with the conversation that I'm having. And based on everything that we were saying in this room, what does that come down to? Being better at creating a relationship quicker. And then being intentional about the activity of adding them to the database and then following up with information that they care about, right? Does that make sense? Any aha on this?
There's a book that goes along with this that I've read for years. It's called Referral of a Lifetime, and it's a parable. You do it on Audible. It takes maybe an hour and 15 minutes to listen to. So by the time you drive here and back, you do it in Somerville, you go there. But it goes along all of this, but it also takes it a step further and talks about developing relationships with what Joseph said, kind of said too, is with your personality. Because I'm very quiet and shy, and so I'm not a big person. You know, I'm great reminder that you don't have outgoing. I can talk to anybody without building a relationship.
100%. 100%. Go ahead.
Joseph gave me a book called Winning the People that kind of talks about this whole thing too, like building relationships and how to like build that credibility with people. That's a good one for you too.
There's so many out there that are awesome. But there's being 2 of them. Anything else?
Who wrote that? Wayne Gretzky? It's a hockey joke. It's in South Carolina. I think you can pretty.
It's a hockey joke in South Carolina.
He knows him play hockey too. He just bring it up.
What else? Yeah, but good. So give us one more aha around this, and how are you going to implement something different from this cool AI box, right? In the next week to change the trajectory.
Marry your clients.
Hiring clients. 10,000 comedians. That'll work.
So you explore ahas and write down an action item that you're gonna take from this. Or I should say, give us 3 ahas or an action.
Oh.
Probably gonna read one of those books.
Right?
Probably.
So
We're just throwing out the commitment.
we can. It's like, down in there. All right, guys are getting on. Come on.
I mean, for me, it's just getting back to calling, finance in the car, just while I'm driving to appointments. That's like the easiest way for me to kill time.
Yes.
Consistency. It's like just because you won that relationship the one time doesn't mean they're gonna cost us. That was a for me. It's just
That's public.
yeah.
To be honest, who in here is looking at this and kind of annoyed that you're having this discussion again because it's so simple with yourself? Like, let's like, so can we just go ahead and get over that? I honestly, like we talked about, Amber and I talked about this yesterday. I'm calling you. Sorry. It's like there's a simplicity sometimes when we're not doing something where we think that it's like we should just be doing it because it's so simple. That's not how this works, right? That's just not how it works. Can we accept that and stop beating ourselves up on it? And just find a way that we've got to figure out, and it's continued conversations and stuff like this. Stop beating yourself. Like, don't be me that goes to these and like, oh gosh, here we go again. I'm talking about the same thing, and I'm still not doing it. Just do better. Just do one more. Give yourself grace. Like, we're all in that.
How much time do you think it takes to see the results? Because I'm in my first couple of months and I have been doing things, but I haven't yet really seen it reflect.
It's a hard answer. It's a hard question to answer without knowing the specifics around it. But don't stop before 90 days. Yeah, of whatever.
Yeah.
And you're
right.
I've seen your that asked that question.
Yeah.
First listened to with James Shaw. And he said that exact thing. He said, like, you know, you're sending out whatever, you know, you're sending them listings off the MLS, or you're sending them any kind of pertinent information. And his point was, because you don't see them, that doesn't mean they don't see you. And he said it might be 2 weeks, it might be 3 months, it might be a year, and then all of a sudden your phone rings one day. Hey, I've been getting your things for the last, you know, every 2 months for the last da. Like you said, I've been thinking about selling my house for 3 months. You're the first agent I call.
Yep.
All right, perfect. But like, I've had that random ass.
Well,
I was just segueing off the business card at the dinner thing. I've worked for Publix for 11 years. So there's a Publix. If you've been to a Publix in Charleston, I worked at it. I trust you. So I go in on a regular basis when we need stuff, milk, butter, bread, and I'm in there for 10 minutes. And I picked up 5 clients just showing my face in the Publix because they're like, wait a minute, you're in real estate now, huh? I trust you. We worked together back in, I don't want to say, but we worked together. I trust you. I know you. So segueing off that idea, I mean, I think you think it's not working, but it works. I mean, I just picked up a buyer client last week because I went in to pick up a prescription. And they were stocking shelves and they're like, AJ. And I'm like, hey, what's going on, Alec? I haven't seen you in forever.
I think activity breeds activity, and allows you to answer your question, right? The only way to measure that is progress, not out. We have no control over the outcome. I was having a coaching conversation a couple of months ago, and I said to him, we're doing all the right things, but I used a bunch of really colorful language, but we're not getting the result we intend. And he said, well, who gives you the right to determine whether you get the result or not? Right? We don't have we have no control over the outcome. What we can anticipate, or what we can understand is there progress with the activities that we're choosing? And are they getting us closer to the outcome that we intend to achieve? Right? And then that's a decision point. Do I adapt what I'm doing from an activity standpoint? Your activities, I have the full opportunity to consult with Susie on a monthly or bi-weekly basis. Your activities are extremely high. So your skill set's developing at a really high level. It's only going to benefit you, because if you looked at the progress and you measure, say, the wins in conversations, I bet they're better today than they were last week or 2 months ago, right? So I would focus on the progress in that. There's 15.
I just want to say one thing, but do open houses, because an open house can get you a buyer like right now. I mean, I'm just saying, like, right now I have one deal that I met the open house in 2 years, but some people walk in and want to buy something. So all the stuff you're doing, that it takes a while to build up, but they're all immediate things and somebody.
You're doing prospecting activities though.
Oh, I know, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, but I know you wanna know, like, if you wanted to sell, like, a lot of times, some might want to walk in and say, I wanna buy this, you know what I mean? So you need that kind of instant gratification as well as knowing that you have stuff that's gonna pay off the long run, so.
Everything works, nothing
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
We're doing are activities that do work, it's been proven to work, so I would say measure your progress and sure. Consider open houses or consider other alternatives if you choose to.
I got two things. The first thing, it seems like if they open houses, anytime I'm looking for a property, you're an open house, specifically pay less. Never even met him, but I've seen space like, oh,
Say.
large.
Here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, smart, fine, it's not. We're doing a man's badge system over here.
I just want to know the number.
Yeah. What was the second one? Come to vote on here too. It feels like I'm just kind of going and nothing's happening, but I bring this stat up in training all the time. 80% of real estate deals happen between the 5th and 12th touch, but 90% of agents give up after the second.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, kind of looking at how many times I've talked to people and I've been like, all right, I'm only at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta keep going.
Close with this story based on that. Who remembers Micah Utt?
I do. Okay, Micah Hutt was rookie here when he first started. He was in this office 2014.
Micah basically came in. He knew no one. He wasn't from here. He was a contractor before he got into real estate. He basically said, I'm going to go farm a neighborhood. I'm going to send personal notes, and this is what I'm going to do. And every day he showed up, he would write handwritten personal notes. He'd always be, we shared a wall. I'd always hear him laughing because he'd just write the stupidest things on the notes. And then he'd send a joke and they'd be like, because I made you laugh, you should hire me as your realtor. Like just the silliest things. But every about 30 days, he'd come in and be like, am I doing it? Every 2 weeks, like, am I doing enough? Doing enough? And we're like, yeah, you're doing it. Stick with it. His goal was 36 in the first year. So about 6 months into it, he came in, he's like, Joseph, it's not working. I'm at 8, which isn't a bad first 6 months, let's be honest, but my goal's 36. If your goal's 36 and you're at 8 halfway through the year, what's your thought? I'm not on track. Like, right. I'm discouraged, right? So, but he kept doing it, stayed with the same thing, time on task over time. And he started in July of 2014. In July of 2015, he closed his 34th house. Right. So he went from nothing to 8 to 30. It was time on task over time. That's what he chose. That's what worked for him. It works for everybody. So you just got to stick with it.
Time on task over time.
Yeah.
Yes.
What you're gonna keep doing.
Yeah.
Because that's how you'll get there and know your season, you know, some of agents used to do open houses, they don't anymore. I'm not saying not to, what I mean is, but know your season. And if you're not gonna do that, do something else that you're gonna do in your season. And stick with it. I mean, you got it.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Who stayed for contracts? Contract starts in 15 minutes. Just want to. Perfect. Okay.
Just need.
Contracts class.
One else go
for to learn about. We're gonna go. I'll go on this little thing.
Yeah, I know.
I agree. It's not smart. I just want to